this one is the session for GD group discussion session, and I'm giving you a topic. And then after that, the topic is given to you. I'll be giving you a couple of minutes to think, and then one of you will introduce the topic. One of you will start and introduce the topic to all of others, and then you will all start discussion. Discussion will go for 15-20 minutes, and after that, obviously, a conclusion will be done. One fellow will conclude. So, introduction, as you know, is a direction to the discussion. You need to tell the topic to others, and then you need to give the direction to the discussion. And during the discussion, you should give relevant points. You have a pen and paper in your hand, and you should use that. Listen to others attentively and discuss with them. हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में डिस्कशन किया जा सकता है. That is up to you. You can do that. And if you want to conclude at the end, then make sure you jot down the points very meticulously so that conclusion could be done. This is how you need to proceed forward, right? So are you ready now, friends? Can I give you the topic? So
Yes,
the topic, use of mobile phones by children. Use of mobile phones by children. Use of mobile phone by children. Okay, so I think unmute yourself, Ria. Please unmute yourself. So I think one of you can start the discussion now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anushka, and I'll be starting the discussion. Like we have been given this topic, use of mobile phones by children. So, I think this topic, this discussion on this topic is the need of the hour because children have been given phones from a very young age, and whether it is harmful or good for them is should be discussed. And what I believe, whatever points will be laid down by us, I think we should keep in mind it should be good for the mental health of the children, parents, and the society as of the whole. So I invite you, all of you, to please join this discussion and give valuable points. Thank you.
as far as I think that use of mobile phone and by children is not good. Basically, they see their parents and they give them their upbringing. Nowadays, a 2-year-old infant also uses the mobile phone as a distraction. Like if the parents even want to make them eat food, they are giving them mobile phones. You see that, and then in that way they are getting addicted to that thing. They're providing the mobile phones on every tiny things, and it should not be done because mobile phones are really harmful. They give some radiation that is not good for children, and that is not good for the health.
Yeah, I also agree that mobile phone from a very young age is harmful for children. I think we as a society should have a limitations or age restriction where we can give the phone to children independently. Because although we cannot deny that the mobile phone is an essential part of our daily life, I think there should be certain age limit. As a society, we can go about that.
And
yes, I also
add some point
that there is a
response that
in mobile there is also
child eyesight
content-wise restriction should be there.
Okay, I would like to add
adding to
one
that
point to this discussion. Like in this, I think there should be a restriction on the websites and the apps that the children will be using.
Yes.
Like that, there should be a censor. I don't want it. I want the children to use the mobile phones, but I want there should be a sensor on the access they have to the World Wide Web or any of the things that are
Yes, sir.
available on the internet.
But right now that is not available. We have to discuss. But right now these all censorship and everything is not available, and the children are using or seeing the content that is not even meant for them.
Actually,
They are
in
exposed
in
to the
case of
content that
There are tablets
YouTube,
and phones are
there is also
available for
app called
children.
YouTube Kid app, so they can use it if
I think
there
I
is
think we
a
can
limit of time restriction.
all the smartphone manufacturers should at least provide parental control in every smartphone, so that the parents should have some control over what their children sees and for how much time they see the content in a mobile phone.
I think the mobile phones nowadays they have this kids mode where they restrict certain apps, or the parents can put certain apps in the settings where it will be not accessible to the students, certain the children, where certain apps and websites. So I think that should be employed while letting the children to use the phone. That is what I would like to add to the discussion. Please.
Yes, I
One
think you are
thing
right.
more one
Actually,
smartphone company can do
a
is to
smartphone,
use such type of glasses in smartphones that does not affect the eyesight of not only children but also of adult men. I think this is one of the most important thing which smartphone companies should look upon.
एक्चुअली इसमें पेरेंट्स
But
को भी ध्यान
the
रखना होगा
basic
कि
point of
आप
the discussion is
कितने टाइम चिल्ड्रन अपना फोन यूज कर सकते हैं और कितनी एज से वो यूज कर सकते हैं। और मेरे ख्याल से मोबाइल फोन से बच्चों की विजुअल थिंकिंग, क्रिएटिविटी वो सब बढ़ती है। तो एक लिमिटेड टाइम के लिए हम फोन यूज करना सिखा सकते हैं विद रेस्ट्रिक्शन। और अब जो मोबाइल फोन कंपनीज और टैबलेट्स है वो सब एक्चुअली हर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट या हर कोई अब टैबलेट्स और वो सब प्रोवाइड कराता है विद रेस्ट्रिक्शन, ओनली यूज फॉर चिल्ड्रन।
Yes, I completely agree with Yas, whatever he said. Like there should be a time limit for children to use the phones. I think there should be a time limit for the children to use the phones.
There should be a balance between how much they are using the phone and how much they are interacting in real world.
Basically, that should be used only for the professional purposes, study purposes only. That's what I think.
Yes, I think they can use for entertainment purposes, but there should be a limit. Like even they are children.
There should be a balance between what
But there should be a limit.
But due to all these things, the usage has become so much in nowadays. Usage has become so much that people don't even like to play outdoor games.
Yeah. We have to restrict the number of hours. I totally agree with
that. Is a valuable point.
That is the main issue that children are facing, that they are only onto phone and just scrolling shorts reel and not doing physical activity. It may cause their health issues in upcoming days.
So is it safe to say that use of mobile phones by children are making the children of this age unfit and unhealthy? Is it safe to say that?
It is a contributor to that point. It is a contributor to that point.
One study also
relate that to mental health issues also, because too much usage of phones develops mental health issues too. Because
nowadays even children are so addicted to Netflix and everything. They see their content, they want their life to be like that story only, and due to which they face this mental issue problem.
They are addicted to unrealistic content, and they think that is life, that is real world. They are unable to differentiate between virtual and real world. That is a good point.
Yes.
Any more points? So can we just do a quick summary of the points we have discussed? Like Ria was telling that this use of phones are quite harmful.
Anushtup, I think we can divide our discussion in three categories, like what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and what steps can be taken to prevent
the only advantages that I see is the education part. Only that is the thing which I feel is a beneficial part. Because of the COVID-19, we are exposed to this online environment, and we have to cope up with that, and we have to cope up the children with that as well. So that's the only beneficial part we see there. And talking about the disadvantages, there are many disadvantages like radiation, harmful radiation, that is the health problems, mental health problem as well, and physical activity, and basically the upbringing. problem also.
advantage, I
That's
can
what
say
I'm saying.
one more thing.
And
Like
we
mobile
should
phones,
As the world has,
mobile
we
phones are
as
should
the
not.
also
world has gone
look for
digital,
some
it
steps
is
to control
important to
the
keep up with the world.
disadvantages of use of mobile
Children
phones.
using phone to keep up with the digital world is, I think, good thing. And of
Friends,
course,
we
the
will go
access
by
to information is
advantage
the
first,
prime
then we will go by
advantage.
disadvantage. That will be good, I think.
Well, I would say that mobile phones do have a lot of lot of advantages apart from the educational part. Like mobiles use Google Maps. They find directions if a child gets
But
lost.
for convenience, it is
But for child, it is not
But
necessary. I think they have their parents.
for child purpose, we have to
A
There
child,
categorize
always
if
a
a child
advantages.
guidance
goes
of
to a
something or the
but
other.
if a child goes
children
to a
doesn't mean
tuition
only
and
4 to 5 years old. Children are also 10 years old and 12
children
years
are who
old.
are
They
less than
need
18 years old.
yeah.
No,
Children are
children below
who are
13
less than
years
18
old,
years old.
children below 15 years old don't need a mobile phone, so they don't need the use like that way. Yeah, but
Yeah,
above 15 years old, they do
Yes,
needed
need for
message.
the purposes, right? That I agree with you.
yes. So like there are certain apps like Google Maps, and there are certain apps uh, like for fitness apps. They can use that. That is also help complements in the physical fitness. There are many YouTube videos that complement in the mental health of people. So I think education is not the only advantage of mobile phones. There are others, but there are disadvantages as well. So please.
But there should be controls also. Like for example, in iOS system, there is a
Right.
control like screen time. So basically, you can restrict the screen usage of a app. So that should be
Okay.
introduced into the Android system also. That's what I think. So if a person is
There
using YouTube
are
also,
functions in
they use it
Android
for
too.
2 hours or something. That's the only
Yeah.
minimum time.
I think
And
the
there
main
should be
Yeah,
point
another
is
feature of parental
I want to add some point
control,
here
I
that
think.
in YouTube also there is a
children should
screen
not be
is
given
there. We can
independent
enable
use
that
of the mobile phones.
in Android system also.
The use should be controlled by the parents up to a certain age. That is the
Yes.
main point because
Yeah, yeah.
children cannot go totally without phones, and they shouldn't also spend all their time on the phone. So
And
the parents should have this responsibility to check that.
And relevant measures should
Correct.
also be taken so that children are not exposed to something that is not meant for them, to a content, because a lot of content is available nowadays on mobile phone and
Yes.
online internet session. So
I think that has been
children should be
discussed.
made
Yeah, I
aware of
think
the
that
content there.
that point has been already
That is the main
touched upon.
I
disadvantage.
think
What
we
I think
just
that
have to give phones to children with excessive use. That's the point.
So any more points, guys?
In the steps that we can take to prevent these things, I think school nowadays are also, I don't think they emphasize much on physical health and this stuff, because
Correct.
with the COVID, most of the things have gone online, and school are relying too much on online platforms for their education also. So I think
Yeah, that should not be the case.
there should be more real life interaction between the students, and proper time should be given for the physical activities too.
Okay. So now you want to conclude, any one of you?
I would like to conclude this discussion. Like there were certain valuable points discussed. Like Ria said that the radiations given by phones are harmful for the children. Then she also said that we should mobile leads to mental health issues and physical health issues. Ronak was discussing about the glasses which are not good for the eyes. Then another good point was given by Yash, uh, like there should be a time limit to which the phones can be used. Like then Amir discussed schools should take part in deciding how give some certain educations of regarding how phones should be used by the children. Then we have also discussed how like parents should keep a track how children are using the phones and apps. There has been a lot of lot of material available on the internet which might be harmful for a child. For a child. Well, we have also discussed the good points, advantages of mobile phones, like for the education, for physical health, for mental health, and there's the Google Maps which might help children uh, to get back to their destinations if they are lost. And I think that would conclude our discussion. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, Yash, would you like to conclude?
I would like
Sir,
to conclude as well. I feel like everything has a pros and cons. Nothing comes with only pros and nothing comes with only cons. So basically, the use of mobile phones by children also come with pros and cons. We discussed the advantages that it leads to educational purposes and obviously a little bit entertainment purposes as well. And talking about the disadvantages, basic disadvantage that is health and being exposed to the content that is not meant for the children. So if we control all these points, then it can be shown as a pros, but we will have to focus on these points, and restrictions should be made on to the time usage as well. These are the all points that we've discussed.
Yes.
I think, sir, everything has pros and cons. That's the same point. But अगर हम बच्चों के लिए फोन आजकल बायजूस या फिर यूडेमी हर कोई अपने टैबलेट्स निकालता है जो सिर्फ बच्चों के लिए यूज के लिए होते हैं, तो हम रेस्ट्रिक्टिव यूज के साथ फोन्स बच्चों को दे सकते हैं.
ओके. आमिर.
अच्छा
आमिर.
यस सर. सर जैसे कि रिया ने बोला कि हर चीज का एक एडवांटेज और डिसएडवांटेज होता है, तो मैंने अपने कंक्लूजन में 3 बेसिक कैटेगरी में हमने डिवाइड किया. एक एडवांटेज, डिसएडवांटेज एंड स्टेप्स वी कैन टेक. So advantage will be the first is the world is going digital, so obviously the children need to keep up with the world, so mobile phones are necessary for that. The second one is access to information. Internet has a lot to offer, and the children can learn a lot from that. The third is convenience of the smartphones and the internet, like we can use maps, Uber, Ola, and everything. But I think we cannot go out without phones, so that is the why we can use. The disadvantages also, there are a lot of disadvantages due to too much users of phones. Children have forgot to interact with the real world, play outdoor sports, so this is affecting their mental and physical health also. The second point I would say is mobile phone or social media addiction, because too much usage can make the children addicted. Also, some of my friends said that children consume content which are not meant for children, which also sets their unrealistic expectations of the world, which is not good. And as a society and as parents, we can take certain steps to ensure the proper usage of phones. And the first point was that everyone suggested is that parents should have the control over the smartphone of their children, what content they are consuming, for how much they are consuming. That is very important. And school and society can also encourage students to interact more in the real world than their virtual world. Yes, sir. I think that.
Okay. Amit, conclude.
Yes, sir.
Please conclude, Amit.
Okay,
yes, sir. That sums up our discussion.
So friends, we have a truthful discussion that we can conclude the discussion. I have categorized what are the advantages that children are exposed to if they are exposed to mobile phones. If I talk about a study point of view, it is good because हम digital दुनिया की तरफ जा रहे हैं, and there should be some exposure to them, and along with that स्टडी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, बिकॉज चिल्ड्रंस का जो विजुअलाइजेशन पावर होता है, अगर हम उनको पहले से देंगे तो उनको उनके आगे स्टडी के लिए काफी ज्यादा हेल्पफुल रहेगा. बट हियर कम्स द डिसएडवांटेजेस आल्सो, दैट at what extent we can allow them to expose like uses of mobiles or tablet or PC. There should be some restrictions, like parents should watch how much their children are consuming laptop or mobile phones. And some apps should be there also, that like YouTube Kids app is there in mobile Android phones. So they can expose to the content up to the children's level, not up to the adult content level. So that may be the point.
Okay. Ronak, would you like to conclude?
Yes, sir. I would like to conclude. Use of mobile phone for children can be a boon or a ban. There are many advantages of using mobile phone for the children, like for using it for educational purpose, and it can be very helpful in developing creative thinking among the children. but but there should be some parental control over the use of mobile phones by the parents of their children. I think that the smartphone companies should also provide some features like a better screen which does not generate as much UV rays that can harm the children, and also some parental control software measures, so that there must be some restriction of which app the children could use and for how much time. Uh, Rest, I would like to say that children can use the mobile phone in a better way by with the help of their parents, and they should be given limited access to the phone, so that they can interact with the outer world as well and develop their social skills also. That's all.
Okay, friends, so let me give you the feedback of this topic now. नंबर वन, पहले तो आपका सब लोगों का कॉमन फीडबैक दे रहा हूँ. मेरे को नहीं लगता है बहुत से लोग वर राइटिंग. आई डोंट थिंक मेनी पीपल वर राइटिंग. आई थिंक अनुत्सप वाज राइटिंग एंड ही वाज जोटिंग डाउन द पॉइंट्स, because when you have to conclude at the end, you need to tell that what some other people have important points they have given. So develop a habit that whenever you participate in GD or GT, you guys have pen in your hand and a paper, and then you are writing down. Friends, let me tell you what is the purpose of these organizations putting GD GT as a part of their selection process. You guys are going to sit in the boardrooms later on, right? And then when there's a boardroom meetings, you guys are going to write down some important points. So develop it as a habit. So from today onward, keep pen and paper and develop a habit of jotting down important points, but at the same time listening to others and maintaining the contacts. Otherwise, what will happen is, like, if you don't do this as a practice, what is going to happen is, like, when you're writing, you will not be in position to listen, and when you're listening, you will not be in position to write. So only with practice, you will become expert in listening also, talking also, jotting down important points also. And as a professional, you guys are to do that. So develop it as a habit, number one. Second, my feedback is, like, you are, not dividing or classifying or that entire topic into categories. You're not making the classification. I told you that if you want to make a body, first make a skeleton and then put blood and flesh into that. So you guys are not even making the skeleton. You are just putting blood and flesh here and there. जो भी दिमाग में पॉइंट आ रहा है तुम उसको बोल दे रहे हो, अनमाइंडफुल ऑफ द फैक्ट कि ये जो तुम पॉइंट बोल रहे हो ये एडवांटेज है, डिसएडवांटेज है, या किसी कैटेगरी में डाल रहे हो, ये तुम इसका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा बना रहे हो. सो स्टार्ट थिंकिंग फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ मेकिंग अ स्ट्रक्चर. द मोमेंट you make a structure, then understanding that topic or explaining that topic becomes pretty easy. And introduction में उसको बोलना होता है. अनूप ने introduction किया, but he just started with saying something about that topic itself, like, okay, I'll give you the example of this, इसका advantage ये है, disadvantage जो भी बोलना है. You did not give the structure. Introduction should be like how you want this topic to be discussed, in what skeleton. I mean, have you made structure that, okay, friends, this is the broad areas we should discuss, and now let's start discussion on this. In my opinion, this is the topic. वो introduction है. Conclusion is like, okay, you need not to remember the names. In fact, sometimes names are not even shown there. So you need to say, okay, friends, we had a very good discussion and some really good points have come. So first, let me talk about these points, which are advantages. Now, disadvantages, something. वो आपको एक structure में discussion करना है. In between, when you participate, listen very attentively to others. Even if you are not listening, at least it should look like you are listening attentively to others. आपको आई कॉन्टेक्ट मेंटेन करना है, आपको नॉडिंग करना है, आपको ऐसे रियलाइज करवाना है कि ओके यू आर लिसनिंग टू अदर्स. एंड व्हेन somebody is speaking next, if you want to participate in discussion, you should take his sentence forward. You should say, add something to that. You should criticize it, you should support it, or you should add your more points. So it should look like आप बाकियों की बात सुन के उससे डिस्कशन कर रहे हो, ऐसा नहीं कि आप अपना ही पॉइंट दे रहे हो. Majority of the students, when they sit in GD, they think that they have to speak about topic. They don't think that they have to talk to others also. So when you are speaking about the topic, it becomes extempore. That means whosoever is speaking, you're not bothered about him. You're only bothered about what point you want to give. अपनी ही बात रखना चाहते हो, दूसरे की बात सुनते नहीं हो. ये भी एक नेगेटिव फीडबैक है. और डिस्कशन में ये जरूर होता है कि तुम दूसरे की बात भी सुनो. ये भी एक नेगेटिव पॉइंट है. तो आप सारे ग्रुप का नेगेटिव पॉइंट, लिख नहीं रहे हो, स्ट्रक्चर नहीं बना रहे हो, दूसरे की बात नहीं सुन रहे हो, और जब आप चुपचाप बैठे भी हो तो नॉडिंग नहीं कर रहे हो, अटेंटिव नहीं दिख रहे हो, ये नेगेटिव है। अब इसमें भी जो कुछ बोल पा रहे हैं स्टूडेंट्स, वो अनूज ने इनिशिएट किया, इंट्रोड्यूस किया, कंक्लूड किया। फ्रेंड्स ट्राई करना आप भी कर पाओ, आप भी इंट्रोड्यूस या कंक्लूड कर पाओ। फिर रिया ने बोला है, रिया ने पार्टिसिपेट किया है, लेकिन रिया पार्टिसिपेट आपको रेगुलर फ्रंट पे करना है, दूसरों के डिस्कशन को उस तरीके से आगे या आपको सपोर्ट करना है, और रेगुलर इंटरवल पे डिस्कशन करो। थोड़ा उस तरीके से डिस्कशन करो कि ऐसा लगे कि हाँ आप वो दूसरों में बहुत इंटरेस्टेड हो उनके पॉइंट्स में, और उस पॉइंट्स को आप बात कर रहे हो। एंड कंटेंट वाइज तुम्हें एनरिच होने की रिक्वायरमेंट है रिया, वो मैं बताऊंगा उसका मीनिंग क्या है। बाकी या अनूप, यू वांट टू से समथिंग?
Yes, sir. Sir, like I would like to ask that suppose we are given pages to write. So suppose while the discussion, are we allowed to make certain diagrams and for this for the discussions? Can we
इट
do
इज
that?
नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू शो द डायग्राम, क्योंकि आपको अपना पिक्टोरियल व्यू उनको रिप्रेजेंट कर देना चाहिए। तुम किसको दिखाओगे, ऐसे ऐसे सबको नहीं दिखा सकते, वो जीडी का पार्ट नहीं होता। तुम डायग्राम बना भी रहे हो तो अपने लिए जरूर उसका कुछ लिख सकते हो वहां पे, लेकिन उस सबको डायग्राम बनाने वाला वो नहीं है। इट इज ग्रुप डिस्कशन, इज नॉट अ प्रेजेंटेशन एक्चुअली, दीज टू आर डिफरेंट।
Okay, sir.
तो टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, नो यू शुड नॉट।
Okay.
बाकी क्या है, यश ने बोलना स्टार्ट किया, अच्छा बोल लेते हैं, लेकिन पार्टिसिपेट बहुत कम किया है यश। अमीर बोल रहे हैं, पार्टिसिपेट भी कर रहे हैं, अमीर ने इन्वॉल्व भी हुआ है, लेकिन अमीर थोड़ा सा टू द पॉइंट, स्ट्रेट कम्युनिकेशन में गैप है, कम्युनिकेशन उतना नहीं है, कम्युनिकेशन को इफेक्टिव बनाना पड़ेगा। अमित ने बहुत कम पार्टिसिपेट किया, रौनक रौनक ने बहुत कम पार्टिसिपेट किया। तो अमित एंड रौनक वेरी लेस पार्टिसिपेशन, followed by Yash. Participation was there, but again not sufficient. Anush, Amir and Ria, you kept on participating. आप लोगों ने बोला, लेकिन आपका इंट्रोडक्शन कंक्लूजन का पैटर्न नहीं था अच्छा, जो अनुज ने किया, पैटर्न वाज नॉट गुड। रिया ने बोला है थोड़ा फास्ट पेस है रिया, बाकी उनके पेस के हिसाब से एडजस्ट करना है, तो थोड़ा ज्यादा पार्टिसिपेशन चाहिए, और कंटेंट एनरिचमेंट इज रिक्वायर्ड। अमीर, कम्युनिकेशन इज टू बी इम्प्रूव, जैसा आप बोलते हैं उसको इम्प्रूव करना पड़ेगा आपको, और आपको थोड़ा सा स्ट्रक्चर समझना पड़ेगा। अब अगर मैं इंट्रोडक्शन दूं, इसका बेस्ट इंट्रोडक्शन क्या हो सकता था? फ्रेंड्स, माय नेम इज रिया एंड लेट मी टेक द इनिशिएटिव टू इंट्रोड्यूस, लेट मी टेक द इनिशिएटिव to introduce this topic to you, and then you can tell the topic given for the discussion today is use of mobile phones by children. Friends, I think we can discuss this topic into a couple of categories. First of all, we should understand that which children we are talking about. We need to divide this into some age group, and we should finalize some age group where mobile phone should not be allowed at all, and then some age group where limited access to mobile phone can be given. So number one, classification of children we can do. Second is, when we talk about the use, it can be used for positive reasons, and it can be students are misusing it. So we have to decide, we have to talk about what can be the positive outcome of the use of mobile phones by children, and then misuse, and how we can prevent that misuse. So let's discuss this topic into these categories, that what age group children should be totally, they should not be allowed at all, and then what age group limited access, and what that limited access can be. Second, what can be the use of mobile phone by children, and if they misuse it, how to stop it. And this topic I think we should discuss in this category. Now I open the house for discussion. So आपको कुछ category देना पड़ेगा. And now, then when you enter inside, you can always say that, okay, think of a student who is, let's say, in the 7th class or 8th class. And that means he's 13, 14 years. He does not require mobile at all. Why he needs mobile? No, sir, information. There's a laptop. There is a TV, entertainment. Either it will be for information or entertainment. The information should come from the books, because now it is not COVID time. Information may come from the books, or if at all it is to come from electronic media like TV or laptop, it should come with the parental guidance. So it should come from parental guidance. And schools will never say that you learn from mobile or something. Even if you have to show the YouTube, then parents should actually provide that information through TV, where even if the children are using some electronic gadgets, that should be under parental guidance and observation. So if you give mobile phone to a children without parental guidance, that is gonna be misused फॉर श्योर. सो लेट्स फाइनलाइज किस एज ग्रुप तक के बच्चे को बिल्कुल एक्सेस नहीं देना है. नाउ इससे थोड़ा सा बच्चा बड़ा हो गया, 8th to 10th class or something like that, they tend to ask for mobile because maybe their homework comes on WhatsApp groups, or they want to talk to their friends and all. In that case also, when it is given to the children, make sure that it is under parental guidance. What they are talking, what they are watching, that should be under parental guidance, because if you provide mobile phone and no observation, the misuse it will increases. So number one, not at all to be provided. That is number one. Number two, okay, it is to be provided. Talk to your friends, or make use for some teachers have made some WhatsApp group or something. It should be under parental guidance, parental control. That is very, very important. Third is when you are to give it to children, like suppose some children, 11th class, 12th class, he needs to have mobile because he's going to some school or to some institute, and then he wants to communicate with the parents or something. उसके लिए मोबाइल का उसको यूज है, और मे भी वो यूट्यूब चैनल अब देखना चाहता है, वो बड़ा हो गया है जो भी है, उसमें भी उसको काउंसलिंग देना बहुत जरूरी है. तो काउंसलिंग पार्ट उसमें आ जाएगा. 11th में बच्चा है, मेरे को मोबाइल फोन चाहिए, चलो ले जाओ. क्यों? मैं घर से दूर जाता हूँ, मैं कहाँ पे हूँ कहाँ नहीं हूँ, पेरेंट उसकी सेफ्टी चाहता है. तो ठीक है, काउंसलिंग करो उसको कि आपको मिसयूज नहीं करना है, कैसे करना है. उसमें पेरेंटल कंट्रोल एंड काउंसलिंग होना बहुत जरूरी है. और अगर आपको लगे कि उसका परफॉर्मेंस गिर रहा है, या उसके बिहेवियर में चेंज आता है, तो आपको बड़े कॉशियसली उसको ये करना है, बिकॉज बिहेवियरल चेंजेस एंड दैट बिहेवियर काउंसलिंग इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन. ये है. अब उसके एडवांटेजेस लार्जली यही है कि जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हो सकता है, बट वो इन्फॉर्मेशन और जगह से भी आता है. डिसएडवांटेज ये है कि इट इज एक्सेस टू लॉट ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन, एंड नॉर्मली चिल्ड्रन गेट डिस्ट्रैक्टेड बाय दैट, और उसका मिसयूज ज्यादा होता है. प्लस वो सोशलाइज नहीं कर पाते, प्लस आई साइट्स और हेल्थ वाइज इश्यूज आते हैं, प्लस उनके फ्रेंड सर्कल पे आपका कोई कंट्रोल नहीं होता है. दे स्टार्ट मेकिंग द फ्रेंड्स whom they should not make. So those kind of things are also the disadvantages. So these are some of the points. I mean, think of structure. Think of structure मेरा कैसे बनाना है. जब भी आप जीडी का प्रैक्टिस करोगे यहाँ पे फ्रेंड्स, स्ट्रक्चर की बात सोचो. हाउ आई एम टू ट्रीट. नंबर टू, हाउ आई एम टू कम्युनिकेट विद अदर्स. नंबर थ्री, हाउ आई एम टू स्पीक एंड पार्टिसिपेट. ये प्रैक्टिस करो ग्रुप डिस्कशन में. अगर तुमने स्ट्रक्चर दे दिया कि फ्रेंड्स ओके, लेट्स डिवाइड दिस एंटायर टॉपिक इनटू दिस, इट शुड नॉट बी डन, इट शुड नॉट डन, एंड देन यू आर राइटिंग एंड सेइंग यस दैट इज ट्रू, दैट इज ट्रू, तो फिर वो उसको लग जाएगा तुम पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हो और तुम पास हो जाओगे. दिस इज हाउ जीडी इज टू बी डन, राइट? एनीथिंग यू वांट टू आस्क मी नाउ? आस्क मी और टेल मी.
So what do we mean exactly by content enrichment? That's what I want to ask.
ये जो आपको मैंने पॉइंट्स दिए अभी सारे, ये आपने क्यों नहीं दिए मेरे को? इसको कंटेंट बोलते हैं.
Basically, we don't have to stick to one point. We have to move from one point to
हाँ
another.
हाँ, मतलब कंटेंट का मतलब होता है कि हाँ यार, बात तो इसने ठीक बोली. जैसे मैं तुम्हें बोल रहा हूँ कि आइडेंटिफाई करो ना कि जो बच्चा 13 ईयर्स से छोटा है उसको मोबाइल देना ही क्यों है. टोटली बैड, नॉट टू बी गिवन.
Okay.
तो ये पॉइंट पॉइंट है जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट था, जो आप दे सकते हो. या आपने बिहेवियरल काउंसलिंग की बात की, अगर मोबाइल देना भी तो उसको काउंसलिंग जरूर देना है. पेरेंटल काउंसलिंग हुआ या पेरेंटल ऑब्जर्वेशन हुआ. नेवर लेट अ चाइल्ड individually sit in a room with mobile in his hand, no access, no observation of the parents. It is going to be misused. That is the
Okay.
point. So ऐसे कुछ पॉइंट्स आपको दो.
Okay, sir.
मतलब काम की बात बोलना जीडी में. देखो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कम्युनिकेशन किसी का अच्छा हो, जैसे रिया तुम्हारा अच्छा है, बोल पाती हो, लेकिन क्या वो रेलिवेंट है? काम की बात है, और काम की बात ही बोलोगे, लेकिन कितना रेलिवेंट है, कितने काम की बात है, ये फिर इंप्रूव किया जा सकता है
Okay,
कैटेगरीज
sir.
के. वो है.
सर अगर स्टार्टिंग जीडी में ज्यादा लंबा बोल लिया तो उसका भी बैड इंप्रेशन पड़ता है क्या सर?
स्टार्टिंग जीडी मतलब इंट्रोडक्शन की बात कर रहे हो या शुरू शुरू की बात कर रहे हो?
यस, शुरू की
इंट्रोडक्शन.
बात कर रहा हूँ सर, स्टार्टिंग. यस.
नहीं नहीं, आप बोल सकते हो. वैसे तो देखो उसका एक बैलेंस होना ही चाहिए. आपको दूसरों को भी चांस देना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि आप ही बोले पड़े हो. इनफैक्ट लोग काट देंगे आपको, बहुत ज्यादा बोलने में नहीं देंगे. अगर बहुत लंबा बात करना स्टार्ट करोगे तो लोग आपको काट देंगे, आपकी बात पूरी नहीं हो पाएगी. तो बेस्ट तो यही होता है कि साहब अपना एक दो सेंटेंस में बात रखी, दूसरे को सुना, फिर अपनी बात दोबारा रखी. यही होना चाहिए.
Okay.
क्योंकि ये ग्रुप डिस्कशन है, एक्सटेम्पोर नहीं है कि जिसमें आप खड़े होके 5-10 मिनट बोलते चले जाओ. ये जो मैंने किया पिछली देर कुछ टाइम में, इसमें आपने मेरे को डिस्टर्ब नहीं किया, क्योंकि मेरे को आपने अलाउ किया कि चलो आप बोलो. वो एक्सटेम्पोर होता है जिसमें नो बडी इज गोइंग टू डिस्टर्ब यू. बट सपोज आप यही, जैसे मैंने इतनी देर बात करता रहा, ये आप वहां बोलने लगोगे तो आपको बोलने को ही नहीं देगा, रोक देगा. इसलिए प्रैक्टिस ऐसी करो कि आप उसमें 2-4 सेंटेंस बोलो और फिर बाकियों की बात सुनो.
Okay, sir.
डन.
Yes.
Any
Yes,
other
sir.
point? अभी क्या करना होता है, जैसे ये टॉपिक लिखा है यूज ऑफ मोबाइल फोन बाय चिल्ड्रन, अब एक कॉपी लगाई होगी आपने, आई एम श्योर। उसमें जाओ, उसमें लिखो और उसकी क्लासिफिकेशन लिखो कि इसका कैटेगरीज क्या बनेगी, हाउ कैन आई मेक द कैटेगरी, दिस थिंग दैट थिंग, एंड थिंक फॉर अ व्हाइल। Immediately when GD is finished from my side, you should not close your laptops and mobiles and go and do something else. No, you should spend some time on your table, 5 to 10 minutes, thinking of what was the topic given, how we can classify, what this guy has told, what points he has given, what more points can be there. Think it off. वो thinking is very very important, and then you will start thinking about the topics. That thinking will help you to actually think about the topic when it is given to you in the actual GD. So don't budge from your place, stay there for 10 minutes and work on it. और उसको लिखो बैठ के, फिर अगले जीडी जब आएगा तब भी ऐसे करो. And every day GDs are going on, GDs, participate is as much as possible, right friends?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
And conclude करने की ट्राई करना, आज तो मैंने सबको दिया चांस, इंट्रोड्यूस कंक्लूड करने की ट्राई करो. चलो,
Okay,
I'll
sir.
catch you tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
sir.